Hello, everyone. This week we'll be covering Chapter 6, Automotive Measurement. In this chapter, we will learn how to use both customary and metric measurement systems. We'll be able to identify and use basic measuring tools, use decimal and metric conversion charts, understand percentages and ratios, and correctly answer ASC certification test questions that require basic understanding of measurement. The measuring systems used in auto shops today are the US customary measuring system and the metric measuring system. Conversion charts are available to help you change value from one system to another. Technicians take these measurements with various tools, including steel rules, calipers, micrometers, and dial indicators. The steel ruler scale is used to make low precision linear measurements. Customary rule is numbered lines represent inches and fractions. Unnumbered lines represent smallest fractions. The metric rule is unnumbered lines are represented in millimeters, and the numbered lines represent centimeters. Other measuring tools that might be used are the pocket rule. It's typically about 6 inches long and it fits in your pocket. The tape measure or the tape rule extends to several feet or meters in length. The yardstick or the meter stick is used for large linear measurements up to 1 yard or 1 meter. Another set of tools is called calipers. The vernier caliper is a sliding measuring device used to make inside and outside and depth measurements. Micrometers is another widely used measurement tool, and it's used to make very accurate measurements from tens of thousands of an inch to a thousands millimeters. There are different types of micrometers. The outside micrometer measures external dimensions, diameters, or thicknesses. The inside micrometer measures large holes, cylinders, and part openings. The depth micrometer measures depth of opening. All these are used in special circumstances and different applications. Knowing how to read a micrometer is extremely important. You first note the largest number visible on the sleeve. You count the sleeve graduation lines to the right, note the thimble graduation and round off. Add all decimal values, add any full inches, and metric micrometers are reading the same way. A good tech tip is to practice your micrometer use by measuring the thickness of feeler gauge blades. The thickness is printed on the blades, and you can compare your measurement results to the thickness of each blade. If you're doing it right, you should get the same number. There's also now digital micrometers and calipers. This kind of takes the guesswork out of it because the readings are digital. Technicians use the digital micrometers and digital calipers because you can press a button and just switch from inches to millimeters depending on what you need. Widely used tool and is very simple to use. There's a few important rules that you need to follow with measuring tools. Never drop or over tighten a micrometer or caliper. Store measuring tools where they cannot be damaged. Cradle the micrometer flame in palm and turn the thimble with thumb and fingers. Hold micrometer squarely with work. These are things that need to be necessary to get accurate readings. Make sure you rock or swivel the micrometer back and forth that is touched on the round parts. Place a thin film of oil on the micrometer and caliper surfaces during storage. Always check for accuracy using standardized gauge block after dropping or prolonged use. Got to make sure it's still accurate. Another tool that is used in the field is feeler gauges. They measure small clearances or gaps between parts. A flat feeler gauge is a precision round steel blades, various thicknesses. The size is written on each blade. A wire feeler gauge is precise size wire labeled by diameter or thickness, measures slightly larger gaps and spaces. These are both commonly used. Another tool that's used frequently is a dial indicator. It measures part movement in thousands of an inch and hundreds of a millimeter. It's used to check gear teeth backlash, shaft end play, or cam lobe lift. When you're using a dial indicator, you mount the indicator securely. Position a dial plunger, partially compress the indicator plunger, lock the indicator in place, move or rotate the part, read the indicator, and subtract the lowest reading from the highest reading. The angle measurement is yet another tool that's used when measuring degrees of a circle. It's divided into 360 equal parts called degrees. Abbreviations are using DEG or the degree symbol. 1/4 of a circle equals 90 degrees. Temperature measurement. Sometimes it is necessary to measure temperature. The measure with temperature gauges are thermometers. It's available in either Fahrenheit or metric Celsius. Laser thermometer can be held a few feet from the parts. Torque wrenches. Torque wrenches are used to apply a specific amount of turning force to a fastener. They're read in foot-pounds or Newton meters. Pressure gauges and vacuum gauges. Pressure gauges measure air or build pressure, pounds per square inch, metric kilograms per square centimeter, or kilopascals. Vacuum gauge measures negative pressure, suction, or vacuum. They're measured in inches of mercury or metric kilograms per square centimeter. We have the telescoping gauge and the hole gauge. The telescoping gauge measures internal part bores or openings. The hole gauge measures very small holes or bores in parts.